Today we will be doing section 2.5 problem solving. So let's go ahead and read this little strategy that they give to us. Problem solving strategy. Number 1, draw a picture if possible. Number 2, translate words into equation. Number 3, solve. Or number 4, interpret or check answer. So let's go to number 1. We see it reads twice a number added to 7 is the same as 3 subtracted from the number. Find the number. Well, we can see we can definitely translate these words into an equation. So let's start with the beginning. Twice a number, 2x, added to 7, that's plus 7, is, which is equals, the same as 3 subtracted from a number. Now we just need to solve for x. So let's bring our x's together. Minus x on the right, minus x on the left. And we have 2x minus x is x plus 7 equals negative 3. Let's go ahead and bring that 7 over. So minus 7 minus 7. Remember, we are trying to isolate x. So we end up with x equals negative 3, negative 7 gives us negative 10. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 2. It says balsa wood sticks are commonly used for building models. A 48-inch balsa wood stick, so we can see our 48-inch balsa wood stick right here, 48 inches. Now let's divide this piece, it says, into 2 pieces. So we'll just put a little marker there so we know we're going to have 2 pieces. So let's go ahead and label one of those pieces X. And the other piece, it says it is 3 times longer than the short one. So we're going to do 3x. So we can see right here that 48 inches equals 3x plus x. And we can solve from there. 3x plus 1x is 4x. Equals 48. Now we need to isolate x, so let's divide out the 4 on both sides, and we end up with x equals 12. Now we have x equals 12, but is that our answer? No, it's not. Now it is time to plug in that 12 into those x's above to see how long each piece is. So we know x up here is 12 inches, so we know that piece is 12 inches. Now what about our 3x piece? Well, 3x is 3 times 12, which is 3 times 12. That would give us a 36-inch piece. And we can check and say, well, 36 inches and this 12-inch piece, when added together, that equals 48. So that is the size of both pieces of balsa wood. Number 3. In a recent year, the U.S. House of Representatives had a total of, actually, you don't have this number 3, so we're going to skip that one. And we are going to do the number 3 you have. The number 3 you have is 3 friends have a total of 91 marbles. So we know we have 91 marbles here. And we have 3 friends. 1, 2, 3. There's our 3 friends. So it says Chris. So let's label Chris here. Chris has 4 more than 3 times Mark. So we know he has there's 3 times Mark plus 4 more. So 4 more than 3 times Mark. And then we have Jason. So let's go to Jason here. We'll put Jason right here. Jason has 3 more than twice Mark. So he has 3 more than twice Mark. How many does each person have? Well, we've been hearing a lot about Mark. We're going to put Mark in there because it says that Chris has 3 times Mark plus 4, and Jason has 2 times Mark plus 3, and then we're going to put M for Mark. So now we have 3m plus 4 plus m plus 2m plus 3 equals 91. Now we can solve like terms, or actually combine, I should say, like terms. 3m plus 1m is 4m plus 2m is 6m. And then we combine that. 4 and 3 equals 7 equals 91. Minus 7 on both sides. 6m equals 84. So we'll bring it up here. 6m equals 84. Divide by 6 on both sides. M equals 14. So that's not our answer. It wants to know how many does each person have. Well, each person has, well, we know that Mark, which was M, so we'll put over here, Mark has 14. And let's go ahead and plug in this 14 for our M's over here. So Chris has 3 times 14, right, plus 4. That's 42 plus 4 equals 46. So we know that Chris has 46 marbles. And let's plug in our M over here for Jason. We have 2 times 14 plus 3. So 28 plus 3 is 31. So we know Jason has 31. And we can check our answer. So 14 plus 46 is 60. 60 plus 31 is 91. So we know we are correct. So Mark has 14 marbles, Chris has 46 marbles, and Jason has 31 marbles. Number 4. If the 2 walls of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. were connected, an isosceles triangle would be formed. The measure of the third angle is 97.5 degrees more than the measure of either of the other 2 angles. Find the measure of the third angle. So let's go ahead and draw a picture of our isosceles triangle here. Remember, an isosceles triangle has 2 equal sides. So we can see here, these are our 2 equal sides. And we know these 2 angles are the same. And what we are told right here is this angle right here is x plus 97.5. So let's go ahead and find that missing angle. So we know that x plus x plus x plus 97.5 equals, let's remember how many, what do the angles of a triangle equal? They equal 180. So we know it's going to equal 180. So let's go ahead and combine our x's. We have 1, 2, 3 x's plus 97.5 equals 180. Now we're going to isolate x because we're trying to find what that degree measure is. So minus 97.5 on both sides. And we end up with 3x, those cancel out, equals 82.5. Now we need to divide out this 3 because it's 3 times x. Since it's being multiplied, we have to divide on both sides. And we are left with x equals 27.5. Is that our answer? No. The question is, find the measure of the third angle. So we're going to find the measure of this third angle up here. So we have to take our 27.5 and go ahead and put it in this equation right here. 27.5 plus 97.5. That equals 125. So third angle equals 125 degrees. Number 5 says some states have a single area code for the entire state. 2 such states have area codes that are consecutive odd integers. If the sum of these integers is 1208, find the 2 area codes. So let's just review what the word consecutive means. So we have, they want us to find consecutive odd integers. So let's review what consecutive means. For consecutive numbers, we would have numbers such as 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's let x represent 1. So if we were to do 1 and then 2, that would be x plus 1. Would you agree? Because 1 plus 1 is 2. So if x represents 1, then we do plus 1, that would take us to 2. What about for 3? X represents 1. So to get to 3, we would need plus 2. For 4, x represents 1. So we would need plus 3 to get to 4. So these are how we would use x in there. Now, if we were going to do consecutive odd integers, there's consecutive. Let's do consecutive odd, or maybe even. But in this case, we're just going to focus on odd. So let's go ahead and see. We have consecutive odd integers. We would have 1, 3, 5, 7, and so forth. So we have x represents 1. Now to get to 3, if we did x, which represents 1, we would have to do x plus what to get to 3? Well, x represents 1, so 1 plus 2 would be 3. And let's do 5. X represents 1, so 1 plus what equals 5? 4. And then we go to 7. X represents 1, so 1 plus what equals 7? 1 plus 6. And so on. Now, knowing that, let's go ahead and try to solve this problem that we're given. It says if these 2 consecutive odd integers, we don't know what they are, but we know they're consecutive, one right after another. So x would be the first one, right? So consecutive odd, so x is the first one, and this would be the second. We don't know what they are in this example. There were 1 and 3, but in this one, we don't know what they are. All we do know is x plus 2, it must equal 1208. Those consecutive numbers must equal 1208. So we do x plus x is 2. Combine our x's. 2x plus 2. Oops, let's change back to this, the right color. 2x plus 2 equals 1208. Let's subtract 2 from both sides. 2x equals 1206. Divide out the 2 on both sides, and we're left with x equals 603. So 1206 divided by 2 would be 603. Now that's not our answer because the question is asking us for find the 2 area codes. Well, we found the first area code, right? We found the first area code is 603. 603. And then the next area code would be 603 plus 2 more would be 605. And those are our 2 area codes. Number 6 says the sum of, let me erase this here so you can see this better on my screen. The sum of 4 consecutive integers is 458. What are the 4 integers? Well, the sum of 4 consecutive integers, let's write the first integer as x plus the next integer, x plus 1. Then we have x plus 2. So notice we have our first integer, second integer, third integer, Here's the next integer. So we have our first integer, second, so first integer, second integer, third integer, and our fourth integer. So, and we know that those equal 458. So let's go ahead and solve this. Let's combine our x's. So x, so how many x's? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. So 4x. Then 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6 equals 458. Now we have to isolate our x, and the way we're going to do that is first we have to get rid of that 6. So minus 6 on both sides. We have 452 equals, those cancel out, 4x. Now we have to, again, we're isolating x, so we have to divide out the 4 from both sides, and we're left with x equals 113. Now the question is, what are the 4 integers? Well, as you can see, we have the first integer, right? That x and that x. So our first integer is 113. Our next integer is plus 1 more, 114. And then we could keep going, 115 and then 116. And those are our 4 consecutive integers. And again, you can check them by plugging in x into each one of those to make sure it is correct.